Hey UConn Nation, it's KK Arnold here. If you're looking for the latest UConn women's basketball content, go subscribe to Listen Up to Phil and Ryan. Go Huskies!
Phil and Ryan, listen up. Thank you, KK and Ryan, on this Sunday morning. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on Listen Up. Today, Ryan, we're going to go over some news that we learned earlier in the week. UConn is without Fudd, Griffin, and Ducharme to start the season. We're going to get Ryan's take on what that means for the upcoming 24-25 season. But I like the second part of this, Ryan. They said, credit CT Insider, expectations are still high as ever. Well, yeah, I would think so. This is UConn women's basketball we're talking about. So, Ryan, I will leave you with this. We thank everybody for tuning in. If you haven't checked out that Morgan Valley interview, check it out now. We hope that everyone enjoyed that. Finally, one out, Ryan. Now, one down, one to go. KK Arnold, next interview coming out hopefully before the end of the month. Ryan, focusing on today's topic, I think that this is big for you and I because now I was sitting in the car, right, driving home from getting some coffee, and I'm thinking to myself, how am I going to start this podcast off today with Ryan? Because usually, Ryan, I think by now, since we've been covering this team, you and I can say, well, they're out for the season. Not this time. So I think if they're going to be injured, I'd rather have it this way. Ryan, they're starting the season out, right? Fudd, Griffin, and Ducharme, but they're not out for the year.
Yeah, like you said to start, very happy with how the Morgan Valley interview turned out. So definitely, like you just said, definitely check it out. If you guys haven't already, we probably couldn't have done it without you guys supporting us. So thank you guys as always. Also, don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe. We're almost up to 2.4 thousand subscribers. So again, thank you guys for that. But yeah, the injury updates is there's only about a month left until UConn's season opener against Boston University. Huskies, of course, now ramping up their basketball activities. And Gino provided a lot of news on the health of this team. And we got some encouraging news about AZ Fudd, although Gino said she probably won't be ready to go in the month of November. She should be ready to return in December for some of UConn's toughest matchups. So it will be nice to have AZ back, hopefully, when UConn goes through that tough part of their schedule later on in the season. And UConn will also be without Aubrey Griffin to start the season, who is also recovering from her ACL injury. And Caroline Ducharme is still dealing with ongoing head issues. So there's no timeline for Griffin or Ducharme's return, unfortunately. And Morgan Shelley as well was also seen off to the sideline, not participating in drills. I didn't see a specific injury update on her, so I'm not sure what her status is or if she'll be ready to go when the season starts. But there is some positive news, however, as UConn will start the season with Yana El Alfi and Ayanna Patterson, who have both returned to practicing in full. So that's really good news for UConn to get both of those forwards returning to completely healthy. So that'll be nice to have finally all of our forwards ready to go. I guess of course besides Aubrey Griffin, but it'll definitely be nice to have Yana and Ayana back down in the paint to provide a lot of depth for us down there. So it's definitely not the worst news we could have gotten. Hopefully, at some point late in December or by January, we can have a fully healthy roster. But I am still kind of concerned about Caroline Ducharme. It seems like these head issues just aren't going away for her, and she's dealing with them for about 2 years now, I'd say. So I'm still a little concerned about the health for her and if she'll even be able to return at some point in the season, but hopefully she will. But I think it's overall positive news. I think it'll be nice to have AZ back, and hopefully at some point Aubrey Griffin too. And it seems like we'll have most of our forwards to start the season as well.
Big updates, Ryan, too. I appreciate that. And Strong, according to this article, Ryan, CT Insider, Strong looks solid Friday, right? She can play multiple positions with the versatility of a guard and the strength and size of a forward. I also received more news, saw more news on another specific player. She was a transfer, mind you, and we will have a episode on her coming up on how she's fitting in with the team. It's wild, right? Because it's not a lie, obviously, but we saw transfers before come in here. Lou Lopez Senechal, mind you, being one example. And we always see, Ryan, months ahead, we always see how these players are fitting in well. So, I mean, it's amazing, right? When you have the ability to just guess, man, she is the one for this program. She can fit in with us. So, man, look, it's looking pretty exciting. I'll tell you that. Also, Ryan, I want to go over some comments with you very quickly. But what are your vibes very, very quickly? I want to ask you, what are your vibes this year? Because in the beginning of this year, I read that on Thursday, I believe. Yeah, Thursday ushered Coach Gino Auriemma into his 40th season. So congrats on the big 40. And then holding the first official practice of 24-25 at the Worth Champion Center. So after the Final Four loss, Ryan, what is your take on the practices? According to him, they're going very well. It looks like from this article. So, I mean, what is your take on the vibes? And again, especially if everybody stays healthy, is it definitely? I don't want this news to just throw everything out the window, right? Because these players will come back. What are the vibes getting back together? And then, of course, with these new freshmen, it happens every year, new faces, but I feel like, man, that this is it. This is really it. And especially whose last year is it?
Yeah, Paige Becker's last year, and that was brought up in a lot of the articles I saw. So, I mean, definitely, I think a lot of the season is definitely focused around Paige, but it's for sure, like we always say, gonna be a team effort, and it seems like the team vibes are pretty high to start the season. We all know how last season ended, so I'm not sure if it's a revenge tour. We talked about it a little bit with Morgan Valley and how she was dealing with it during the off season and got some insight on maybe how some of the players deal with it individually. But of course, for these freshmen, they weren't here to experience that. But I think it's good to get the first practice under their belt now, getting everybody back together. So a month to try to prepare and get everybody who is healthy on the same page, get all the lineups set in now, and how Gino feels about all the players and how the first couple weeks of the season is going to go. But I think it's pretty positive news about Sarah Strong as well, because without AZ Fudd, I think we could see Sarah Strong probably go down low, play as a forward. Kind of the wing spot, maybe the 3 or 4, or she could come in as one of the guard players too. So I think Sarah Strong's going to have a really big impact to start the season. And I think that the two healthy players I mentioned too, Ayanna Patterson and Yana El Alfi, I think they have a good chance too to really come back in now that they're healthy and have an increased role to start the season.
All right, here we go. Let's go over to you've Angel. Guys, you're always calling her Yana, but I think her name is actually pronounced Jana. Jay Ryan, Jana, when the interviewers call her Yana, the teammates and Gino always correct them. The team actually calls Ayanna Patterson Yana. I could be wrong. Can't wait for your recaps when the games begin. November can't come soon enough. I think that's the best part of this podcast, Ryan. Game recaps.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be everybody's favorite. I know we both love recapping all the games for you guys, but yeah, the name pronunciations are always going to haunt us. I think it's almost impossible to get all these names right, pronounced correctly. We always try our best, but yeah, definitely looking forward to. Like I said, only got a month left now, so looking forward to providing all these game recaps for you guys.
Ryan, this will make you smile. I think this just speaks volumes of what this team can prove this year and what they are, what this program is. Grobel said UConn conference schedule was released September 25th. TV schedule was released October 3rd with tip times for all games except at Tennessee and South Carolina. and at South Carolina, which are owned by Disney via SEC contract. Those games will be on ABC or ESPN, ESPN2. Times are to be announced. Overall, UConn will have 9 nationally televised games, 18 on SNY, and the 2 Bahamas tournament games will be on Flow Sports.
Yeah, that's definitely really good news. I did see that. So yeah, I think it's really good for the women's basketball game as well to have a lot of these games nationally televised and having a lot of the other big name schools as well nationally televised throughout the season. But yeah, I mean, UConn has a lot of big time matchups. We talked about how tough their schedule is. So I kind of figured a lot of these games would be televised. So I'm glad that a large majority of people will be able to watch it, and we can continue to grow some of these numbers for the viewership.
How about Randy? He said, Ryan, hope you get feeling better soon. I have never been this excited for this team. Jana is a total beast. I feel this is our best team ever. Oh, Ryan, ever? Woo!
Well, that might be a little
Maybe
bit.
ever since we've been covering. I brought it up to you one time. Maybe since we've been covering, but I don't know about ever.
Yeah, I'm not sure about ever. That might be a little bit of a stretch. Yeah, maybe ever since we've been covering the team in these 3 years, it might be the best team. We'll see how the season goes, but I'm pretty confident in the team. I think we got a lot of big time players. Of course, some positiveness coming out of this injury report. But yeah, I think we're all ready for the season. It should be pretty exciting.
And this is again in reference to this is from the UConn Huskies roster breakdown. Jana L. Alfie. Ryan, one more. Maidstone Plant Farm said, I have watched clips of her playing, and this girl can play. Her turns to the basket are lightning quick, and she has a monster of attitude. She plays with passion. But tell you what, Ryan, the times we saw her, especially when you and I traveled up there, last year, I think, she was there on the side, and the passion is for sure. Even when she's not playing, I think she leads all teammates in getting hyped up from the bench. I remember seeing her, and she can bring the fire whether she's in the game or not.
Yeah, I think she can really be the dark horse for us this season. Like I said, because of her missing all of last year, I think a lot of people, I think a lot of people outside the team that really aren't familiar with Jana's game, I think a lot of people are going to forget about her. But of course, all of us know what she can provide at watching her play for her country, Egypt, last year. So I think she's in for a really big year. I can't wait to see her play and this team play as well. But yeah, I think we're in for a pretty special ride as Jana prepares for her first, hopefully, fully healthy season with UConn.
All right, Ryan. Self-care. Self-care is very important. And this is a message from me and Ryan to all of you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Take the time today to love yourself. That's right. Love yourself. You deserve it. We can't thank each and every one of you enough. And we will see you right back here, Ryan, this week for more of roster breakdown on Listen Up.